Okay, hey, and welcome to part 4 of the mini-series. This is the Princess Coronation Class locomotive. I, again, did look at this 2 or 3 years ago now, but I didn't do an amazing job of it. I didn't really do it justice. This locomotive really is quite special. It's by Hornby, as you can see. I'm afraid there are no prizes for guessing that. And then, if we look on the end, you can see there, Princess Coronation Class. And this particular one is Princess Alice. So yes, they were by the LMS. The wheel orientation is 462, which is also known as a Pacific. If a locomotive has, 4 little wheels there at the front, and then 6 main driving wheels, followed by 2 little wheels at the back, that's called a Pacific. So these were Pacifics. They were LMS Pacifics, as you can see, and they ran up and down the West Coast Main Line, going very, very fast. Competing directly with LNER's Flying Scotsman and Mallard and stuff like that. So these were what the West Coast Main Line had, and they are lovely. Well, some people don't like this particular style of locomotive, but I've got to admit, when I was little I didn't, but now I'm older I really do. And the first of its type, I think, was actually just called Coronation, because look, you see, you can get a you can get a book on them. They're Coronation Scot, and in there are just tons and tons of photos of, these types of locomotives, basically. I mean, one even went over to the United States. I think that's, what was it? Was it the Duchess of Hamilton? No. Was it? No, it was this one. Was it the Coronation? Yes, I think it was this one. But one of them did go across to the United States and come back just before the war, I think. Was it just before the war or just after the war? I can't remember. Somebody will correct me. But yes, very iconic, very classic and very famous style of locomotive here. So let's open the box and see what we've got. Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me? No, because of editing it will have only been a second. But anyway, I'm back, and here I am with my little folder. I've not given it a name or anything yet, but you can pick these up for like £1 or 2 from stationery shops or pound shops, whatever. And when you open it up, in here are all my manuals, you see. So it's a standard, hole punch configuration. The size of this paper is A5, but the holes are the same as if it was A4. So you can see class 50, class 58, class 40 diesel locomotive there. So yeah, I basically just put all of my instructions in here. Class 25, class A4, ooh, Harry will like that. Duchess class, that's the nickname, I should point out, given to the de-streamlined models of this. There technically wasn't such a thing as a Duchess class. They were all called Princess Coronation Class, but they were given the nickname Duchess because so many of them were Duchess of this, Duchess of that. But yes, they're all Princess Coronation, basically. They're just either streamlined or non-streamlined. It really is that simple. But I would have basically ended up with something like that. Well, yeah, here we go. Coronation Class. See, 462. So these are probably the exact ones for Princess Alice. And, well, yeah, they do look like it, don't they? So yeah, again, just usual stuff, how to maintain it, how to look after it, where to put the oil, and trust me, you only need tiny, tiny drops on the end of a pin. Seriously, any more than that, and oh, nightmare. It will give you a huge, huge headache because your trains will be slip sliding all over the track, which you don't want. So yeah, there we go. Instructions to one side. It's this quite nasty packaging, I'm afraid. It's not too bad, but it's definitely not brilliant. So if we just get the tender out first, by pushing my by pushing my finger up through the bottom there. There's the tender, and then the locomotive itself, really, really gently. We'll use gravity to help us a little bit. There we go. Just take off the paper. Give it to the cat so it can shred it up even more. Right, so there is the locomotive, and they're really big. They are such grand locomotives. I mean, look at that. Just look at that. That's huge. What a monster. Gosh, well, not a monster. She's lovely. She's Princess Alice. So let's just put it down, push everything to one side, and take a look at it in detail. Okay, so to make it a bit easier, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to detach the tender just ever so quickly so that we can have a look at this. And, wow, I mean, just look at that. That's amazing. What a locomotive. It just makes you smile. Even if you're not particularly fond of this huge streamlining that they put over what is basically just a normal steam locomotive underneath. If you're not a fan of it, it still commands respect. You've got to admit, I mean, it just looks, well, unlike anything else. I mean, there's a few trains in America and a few trains in China that have similar sort of stylings, and it really is quite breathtaking. It really was out there. I mean, considering, you know, this was the 1930s when they did this, it must have looked like something out of the space race. So you've got sprung buffers, as you'd expect. The detail on the see, this is why I love steam locomotives. I could never be just a diesel person, because you do not get that with a diesel locomotive. Look at that. And trust me, when she's flying around the layout at a scale speed of 100 miles an hour or something, that looks magnificent. And you just don't get that with a diesel. You don't. I'm sorry. You just don't get that with a diesel. There's a little bit of a mark on her there, which I think was probably some cleaning residue that I've left on the body there. So that needs to be wiped off. Either that or it's just a grubby fingerprint. But, oh yeah, so you can see it on the body there. So I'm going to have to give her a quick wipe. Give her a quick clean. It seems to be coming off. But the detail is fantastic. The only thing letting it down, nothing in the cab, I'm afraid. It's just a black void, which is a real shame because everything else is brilliant. You've got handrails there. You've got a handrail going all the way down the whole length of the body. You've got some fantastic safety valves and whistles there. The chimney looks spot on. This front truck here just keeps sliding about all over the place. Vacuum tubing on the front. It really is incredible. It's just a shame that there's nothing in the cab. And I think they could have made this look a little bit better as well. They've cut corners there and just done that cheap, which is a shame. But then this particular model, this particular Princess Coronation, is quite old now. I mean, it came out in 2006, 2007, something like that. So again, might be quite difficult to get hold of, but I do believe it's out again with the name Coronation. So if you really like it, you can go and buy one right now called Coronation. I think it's in a train pack, so you get some fantastic coaches too. And you know, the coaches really do make this locomotive stand out. I'll show you those in a bit, don't worry. So we've got a coupler on the back. It's not a huge one, but it's not a NEM one, and it's not a nice slimline, you know, ultra realistic one either. So that's a bit of a shame, but we can forgive it that, because these couplings, I do quite like these couplings, to be honest. They work quite well with just about every coupling there is. They're not too big, they're not too small, they're fine. And they will handle quite tight corners too, which is, you know, it's quite useful, isn't it? So yeah, sprung buffers on the back, nice water tank detail, ladder on the back. Just look at the livery, look at that silver. Oh, I love it. It's just so tactile as well. Yeah, my rivets are there. You can feel them. Brilliant. So, and the pin, by the way, does conduct electricity through to, you can see there, it does conduct through to the tender. It's not tender driven. I'm happy to report the motor's where it belongs in the locomotive, but it does use the tender to pick up some electricity and help it run better. So the detail's good. It's not amazing, it's not 10 out of 10, I'm afraid it just isn't. The cab lets it down there. I'm sorry, Hornby, but until you do all of that for us, it's just never going to get to a 10. But it's still good. It's still good, it's still a fantastic locomotive, a beautiful name, Princess Alice, really, really nice. I don't know who she is though, sorry. I don't know who she is. But yeah, great locomotive. So let's put her on the track and get her going. Okay, so here we are, and where are we? Yes, well done. The world's most famous piece of skirting board. In fact, somebody's actually, on Twitter, somebody's actually sent me something to print off and stick on there, because this is a World Heritage Site, as we know. This skirting board is protected. I'm not even allowed to touch it again. No, it's too famous. So, let's just shut up, Will. Right, here's the locomotive. The gorgeous... oh, quite tricky to get those wheels on. Okay, we'll forget those. We'll come back to them. And the gorgeous Princess Alice. Okay. So the back wheels are on, the main driving wheels are on, and the front little truck is on as well. And then all that remains is to put the tender on. So you just slot the pin into the little hole on the back. Yep, there we go. And then make sure all of its 6 wheels are on too. Give it a little wiggle. Job's good. Right, some power would be good at this point. Okay, power on, pick a direction. I'm going to send her back a little bit and then forward a little bit. She's not ran in a while, so she might be a bit cold. But it's okay, we can get her warmed up quite quickly. Ooh, 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 ooh. Go on, there we go, there we go. She's going, whoa, no, it's too cold, too cold. There we go, there we go. Okay, so she's obviously quite cold and needs a good run-in. I'm going to get her doing that then. And there she goes. Nicely does it. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. There's no need to go any quicker than that. As I say, she's been sat still, cold, for a long time. So we're just going to let her go at that speed, which is a nice speed to go at, so that it gives her a chance to warm up, lets all the oil get onto the moving parts, all the cogs and the linkage and everything. There's no need to go any faster. You've got to treat her like a car that you've only just got into on a cold morning. You've got to take it easy for a while, and then once she's warmed up, that's when you can open her up a bit and go a bit quicker. You can see she's getting better already. Okay, well about half an hour has passed, and look at that. Wow. Full steam. She's really proper warmed up now. I mean, it's almost impossible to keep up with her actually. Okay, so I'm just going to slow her down, couple up to some coaches, and then take her out again. Okay, maybe a bit of an abrupt stop there, but oh well, it'll do. She's not DCC yet, by the way, she's still DC. Okay, so some of her coaches are on the track now. These are the proper, official Coronation Scot coaches, as you can see. Just there, see? Now I only have 3 of them. So I have 2 brake ones, so it's quite typical for one to go at the beginning of the train and one to go at the end of the train. And then I have a normal passenger one in the middle. I do want to get the Coronation Scot pack so I can get 3 more coaches and make the train a bit longer, although I'll have an extra brake one and I'll have to do something with that. But yeah, obviously getting the coaches really makes a difference to this train, it really does. So if you have any and you don't want them, please send them to the ICH2 Blue Coach Fund. But in the meantime, I will have to wait until I get the Coronation Scot pack. Okay, so our locomotive is just here. There we go. So let's get her to back up onto those coaches. Now she's nice and warmed up, so this shouldn't be a problem for her. See, just look at that. Look at the difference in running now. You have to warm these locomotives up. They may only be models, but they're almost like the real thing. You've got to be treated gently. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Too fast. Okay, look at that. Look at the stripes. They even line up perfectly. Wow. Now you've got to admit, that looks incredible. Just wait until there's like 10 coaches there or something. You've got to agree, that would look absolutely fantastic. Right. Okay, take it away, Princess Alice. Bit of a jolt, but it's okay. My passengers are used to it. They're covered in coffee and tea stains, it's fine. Bit faster? Yeah. She'll go faster than that. She will. Honestly. Okay, are you ready for this? Whoa. So there we have Princess Alice, the Princess Coronation Class, the West Coast Main Line Flying Scotsman, basically. What a locomotive.